I've been trying to tell the truth for so long that the lies became easier for everyone. There were emails, phone calls, reports filed and quietly dismissed. No one wants to listen. I can't blame them. It sounds insane. If even part of what I told them were true, it would change the way they look at the sky forever. I stopped saying I saw something. I tried softer words. I tried safer explanations. Even then, it was considered bad taste to talk about. They think I'm exaggerating, dressing up the truth to hide something worse. Honestly, I'm just tired. I'm tired of trying to be believed. So this is the last time I'm telling it. After this, I'm done. I never liked the term storm chaser. It makes it sound like a hobby, like we were thrill seekers chasing adrenaline. We weren't. The National Weather Service relies on real-time field data, barometric pressure, wind direction shifts, rainfall rates, surface rotation, atmospheric instability. A dozen moving pieces that determine whether people get warnings in time. That information matters. It's what gives emergency services minutes instead of seconds. I worked with 2 other guys back then. We drove separate vehicles. They led. I followed in the backup. It's safer that way. Redundancy keeps you alive. Miguel was our gearhead. If it ran on a battery or needed a signal boost, it was his problem. He kept our phones alive in weather that killed reception, patched us into satellite radar feeds, ran mesoscale models in real time. He handled the radio too. Police bands, fire, emergency services, citizen frequencies, even military chatter when we could catch it. Mostly Air Force, sometimes Marine. If something was happening within 100 miles, Miguel heard it first. Richard was different. Stocky, barrel-chested, the kind of man who looked built to stand still in high wind. He'd come back from Afghanistan and decided, for reasons I never fully understood, that chasing tornadoes was quieter. So he educated himself. Certifications, field training, years of damage surveys. Eventually, he became a forensic meteorologist. Yeah, that's a real thing. Years later, he started his own firm. That's how I came to work for him. The job that night was simple. Gather live data on a system forming about 6 clicks north of a small Minnesota town, not far from Rochester. Early projections had it drifting east toward Madison. Then it shifted west. Early projections had the storm tracking east of Madison. Then it shifted west. They needed boots on the ground, updated pressure readings, wind vectors, surface rotation data. The models weren't agreeing anymore. No warnings had gone out as far as St. Cloud, and this thing was building into something ugly. We rolled through Stewartville and did a quick roadside survey. Nothing dramatic. A few bent saplings along the tree line, debris starting to scatter. Edge activity, early indicators. But the surface conditions were deteriorating fast. "Sky's going to hail," Richard said over the radio. He laughed when he said it. "Mark my words." "No way," Miguel shot back. "Pressure's wrong." "Boss says hail," I added. "It's hail," Miguel scoffed. "You two are dreaming." We were pushing the speed limit. You have to. Storm work doesn't wait for you to arrive comfortably. The vehicles were maintained religiously. Reinforced mounts, battery backups, fail-safes. Last thing you want is to stall out in front of a twister. Measure twice. Cut once. We passed through Rochester and headed northeast toward Kellogg. If the storm kept its trajectory, we'd need to cross the Mississippi. The first arm of it was curling past Maxville. "That's a sharp turn," Miguel muttered. "Storms don't pivot like that." "You'll see," Richard replied. The roads were clear when we rolled up to the Wabashan-Nelson Bridge. The sun was setting behind us, red and low, casting long shadows across the river. Ahead of us, the clouds were stacked and dark, almost layered, like something folding in on itself. We slowed for a better look. I wasn't sure what I was seeing. "That's hail formation," Richard said. "It's too clustered," Miguel answered. "Maybe the Rockies shifted east," I joked. "Girls," Richard sighed. "You're both pretty. Relax." There was a rest stop just past the bridge. We pulled in to run preliminary readings and check the weather station. Miguel went through his checklist: power supply, battery draw, signal strength. Richard and I stepped out to look at the sky. "You really think it's hail?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "You get a feel for it after a while." "A feel?" "You can smell it." I laughed. "Smell it?" He didn't laugh back. "Yeah," he said quietly. "You can smell it." He pointed south. The movement was wrong. The wind was shifting hard west, harder than projected, hard enough to tear more than saplings. We checked the station. The numbers confirmed it. Wind speed climbing, direction shifting fast, pressure dropping unevenly. We got back on the road, heading north toward Wisconsin before cutting southeast toward I-35. The closer we got, the more I felt it. Not stronger. Wrong. I'd only worked with Richard for about 18 months, but like he said, after a while, you can smell it. And I did. We drove another 10 or 15 minutes before pulling off to update our readings. Miguel relayed the numbers to the local NWS office while Richard stepped out for a cigarette. The wind had shifted again, stronger now, gusts coming in uneven pulses. The anemometer was spinning faster than it should have been. Richard cupped a hand around his lighter. It took him 3 tries. That bothered me more than the readings. Rain or shine, that man could light a cigarette in a hurricane. "It ain't looking good," he muttered. "Not one bit." "What are you thinking?" I asked. He didn't answer right away. He kept staring south, lighter flame trembling in his palm. "It's worse than hail," he said finally. "Twister?" He shook his head, took a drag. "No," he said. "That ain't it." We got back on the road. Another 10 minutes south and the clouds started stacking tighter, folding over themselves. The air grew heavy, wet. It clung to my skin. I had to crank the AC just to breathe comfortably. "We need another reading," Miguel said over the radio. "We're in the thick of it." "We're turning back," Richard replied. Miguel laughed. "No, we aren't. It's moving out." "We're turning back." "You don't know that." Silence. Then Richard, quieter. "You've got no idea what we're running into." That shut Miguel up. I could feel it then. Not fear. Tension. "All right," Miguel said. "Guess we're heading back." Tires screeched as Richard made the turn. In my rearview mirror, I saw the first flash. Distant, white, silent. The thunder followed a second later. "Yeah," Richard muttered. "It's picking up." "So it's not hail," Miguel said, a little too pleased. "I don't know what the hell it is," Richard answered. "Told you it wasn't hail." "Now's not the time," I cut in. "Where are we headed?" "North through Nelson," Richard said. "We'll get behind it." That's when Miguel went quiet. And Miguel never went quiet. He was more banter than man. But now there was nothing on the radio except static and breath. Bad sign. We kept feeding numbers to the NWS. Within minutes, warnings went out. My phone buzzed with the alert even as we drove. Richard pushed north on Highway 25, trying to outrun the worst of it. If we could clear the edge, we'd get clean readings on the backside and be home before midnight. That was the plan. The storm had other ideas. We caught the northernmost tail end of it. Rain hit first, hard and slanted. I kept my eyes on Richard's taillights as water smeared across my windshield in frantic arcs. Over the radio, they were arguing. Readings fluctuating, connection dropping, the power strip overcharging batteries. Their voices kept cutting in and out. Then I smelled it. Ozone. Sharp. Metallic. You can smell it just before it happens. I wondered if Richard smelled it too. The first lightning strike came without warning. No build, no gradual roll. Just light. I've seen bad weather. I've slept in it. I've chased it across 3 states. This wasn't that. This felt deliberate. For a split second, the sky white, the world frozen. Everything went silent. There isn't a person alive fast enough to react in that moment. And in that frozen heartbeat, as Richard's car continued forward, I saw something. Shapes. Shadows stretching across the pavement that didn't belong to anything I could see. Richard swerved. For a second it looked recoverable. Then one tire dropped into the ditch. The road took the wheel. His car fishtailed, spun, nearly flipped, and tore off into the field like a toy kicked sideways. It skidded 20, maybe 30 feet before slamming to a stop. I hit my brakes so hard my chest smacked the steering wheel. I grabbed the radio and jumped out without thinking. We were all shouting at once. Static, feedback, garbled panic. Then I forced myself to listen. Richard's voice cut through. "Get back in your car." "What?" "Get back in your goddamn car!" He was right. I was standing in an open field during a lightning storm. Vehicles act like Faraday cages. Outside, you're a lightning rod. I turned and ran. I barely got the door shut before the sky detonated. A single strike came down, not random, not branching, straight into Richard's windshield. And in that white, impossible light, I saw them. There had to be 100. Burned bodies, skin split open, bones exposed, limbs missing, faces half melted, all frozen mid-decay. They surrounded his car, not moving, just standing there, staring. The light snapped off. They were gone. Thunder rolled a heartbeat later. Miguel threw himself out of the passenger side. The windshield was spiderwebbed, blackened at the center. He turned toward me and pointed at the driver's seat. Richard wasn't moving. Lightning doesn't work like that. It hits the highest point, the easiest path. That strike went exactly where it wanted to. Miguel ran. He bolted across the field toward Richard's car. I slid into my driver's seat, engine roaring, headlights cutting across the rain. "Come on!" I screamed at him. "Come on!" Another flash. This one hit him. It pierced straight through. For a split second, his body locked rigid, muscles seizing, jaw snapping sideways at an angle no human jaw should hold. And in that white blast, they were back. Hundreds of them, encircling him. And this time, one of them wasn't looking at Miguel. He was looking at me. It took my brain a second to understand what I was seeing. Richard. Eyes rolled white, chest burned black, standing among them, watching me. The light vanished. Miguel collapsed. Silence. Then thunder. They stood shoulder to shoulder, packed tight, not speaking, just closing in. Every flash of lightning made my heart stutter. Each strike felt longer than the last, stretching time thin, pulling it wide until seconds felt like minutes. I covered my ears, shut my eyes. It didn't matter. Lightning consumes everything. You taste it. You smell it. It burns through your eyelids and rattles your bones. It hums inside your teeth. And every time the sky went white, they were closer. Hands reaching, fingers brushing my arms before blinking out of existence. The smell of rot filled my lungs. A hand grazed my throat. Something snapped at my leg, teeth scraping fabric before the light vanished and took it with it. I couldn't fight them. There were too many. They came from everywhere and nowhere at once. Another strike. Closer. Another. Closer. By the third flash, they were pressing in so tight I could feel the cold of them against my skin. I curled in on myself, waiting for the next one to finish it. But instead, I looked up. The storm should have been moving west. It wasn't. The clouds were split, and in the break, there was an eye, an enormous, unblinking eye suspended in the sky. It was so large I couldn't see the edges of it, just the curve, just the pupil, watching me. Every time it blinked, lightning struck. Not random, searching. I counted 18 strikes. 18. Each one closer than the last, each one correcting, looking for me. Then the rain shifted. The wind carried the storm past. The hands stopped. The biting stopped. The flashes moved on. I lay there shaking, soaked, bleeding, but alive. When I finally stood, there was only cracked pavement, scorched grass, and two bodies. Richard still in the driver's seat. Miguel face down in the field. It took me minutes to make the call. I've been telling people ever since. They call it trauma, shock, survivor's guilt, a tragic accident. Lightning doesn't aim, they say. It doesn't hunt. I tracked the system as far as I could. It broke apart somewhere off the coast of Norway. I read a report weeks later about a fishing village. Geese falling from the sky in torn white spirals of feathers. After that, nothing. The trail ends. I never feared storms before. Now I wake up at night convinced I heard thunder. Sudden flashes make my heart stop. I don't go outside when the sky turns gray, because I don't think it missed. I think it let me go. And sometimes, just before it rains, I swear I can smell it.